Hello Aries, first and foremost I'd like you to wish you a happy birthday. This is your birthday reading. It's going to cover 2025 to 2026. 3 blessings that are coming your way for that time span. Before you see 4 groups. You're welcome to choose one. You're welcome to choose all of them. It's up to you. Whatever you're drawn to initially is what you should choose. Group number 1, we have Epiphany, Breakthrough. Group number 2, we have Sun, Strength, Empowerment. Group number 3, we have Chemistry, Passion. And finally, group number 4, we have Freedom, Leap, and Opportunities. Pure Uranus energy. So what I want you to do is take your time. Think about it. All the timestamps will be in the description box. Well, it'll actually be in the comment section. And I will see each of you on the other side. Hello, Group 1. First and foremost, I'd like to wish you all a very happy birthday. Okay, let us get started. If you have chosen Epiphany, Breakthrough, this is your reading. Okay. So let's start on this side, okay? Usually I start on that side. I'm just pulled to start here. It says joy, and I really like that it's coming in reverse. If you watched any of my readings, you know that these particular cards, when they come in reverse, it means this will come easily to you. This isn't something you're going to have to work for. If it came in the upright, I would say you really have to find joy. But in this case, you're going to find joy. It's going to come to you easily. It says, as I do will, so mote it be. Let joy and light radiate from me. Yes, and this is number 16 in this deck. Now, I hate when this goes out of focus, so let me see if I can get a card. I know I have one particular deck that focuses it right away. Focus. There you go. Perfect. The next card up, we have moving up. It says, you are increasing your power and status. You may get a promotion or move to a better home or office. You climb the ladder of success. Perfect. You also have strength of vulnerability. This is number 4 in this deck. It says true power lies at the root of your perceived weakness. So we're going to piece everything together as we go along. But there may be something that initially brings you some weakness, or maybe something that is your weak point that will be beneficial to you in some way. I guess we'll figure that out. It does say, hold your vision, fixed moon. And when this comes in, I usually point people towards the fixed moons. The fixed moons for your birthday year is May 12th, we have Scorpio full moon. August 9th, we have Aquarius full moon. On November 5th, we have Taurus full moon. And on February 1st of 2026, we have the Leo full moon. So any of those dates, and it doesn't have to be exactly on that date, but around those dates, the power of the moon is not just one day. But around those dates, really look for these blessings. It looks like that's really important. It's imperative here. Yeah, let's look at Jupiter. This is great. This really is. This deck is massive, and there's all kinds of things that could have come out, but you've picked the card of expansion. Jupiter, Sagittarius energy, your fellow fire sign, but more than that, it is luck. It is optimism. It is a really, really good omen here. Aries, expansion, luck, possibility, fortune. You also picked bridge. And as we know, the bridging number interestingly enough, is number 11, and that is a cardinal number, just like you are a cardinal sign. So to me, that is it's yet another omen. But you do have a bridge. Now, this is a bridge between you and something else. So, yeah, very interesting. We'll get back to that in a second. Let's just move on a little bit. You do have in the Lenormand deck, you have book. And you know, when we pull this, this is a mystery. So there may be something that seems mysterious at first, or something that has been a mystery up until now. And yes, I have to refocus this. Sorry about that. I don't know why the camera does that. It drives me crazy. You do have the philosophers. So there's something that may be a mystery at first, or something that has been a mystery up until now. You have the Philosopher's Stone, it says, and this is number 22, powerful manifestation of wishes and goals. This is actually my favorite card of the deck. As you can see, I have the Philosopher's Stone right on my ring. So to me, that is always a good omen when anyone gets that particular card. Beautiful energy so far. Now, back to that bridge. It is a connection, right? It is connecting two things. It's a gate. A bridge between two things. It could be two people. It could be you and your brand new vibe, your brand new life. Could be. You are moving. I mean, this could actually indicate moving house, right? It could represent you buying property. It could represent you just moving up in your job. But there's all kinds of really good energy on the table. And no, I don't choose really positive decks for these readings. Whatever comes out, comes out. But you do have Pluto here. And this is also number 22. So the number 22 could actually mean something to you here. The number 22 or the number 4. And being that 4 is an Aries number, that to me, it's even further evidence that this is your reading. But keep that under your hat here for sure. Now, Pluto is obviously Scorpio. It rules Scorpio. But it does have something to do with Aquarius, because Pluto is going to be in Aquarius until 2043. So pretty much, you know, a very long time, right? And Pluto is transformation, rebirth, death. It's more bridging energy, right? It's bridging one thing to another. Even if you just look at it, the death and rebirth, there is a connection there between something that's falling away, something maybe that's not useful anymore, to something that's brand new. Really good energy here so far, Aries. Now here you have your 3 blessings, okay? Let's take them one at a time. For the first, you have property here. So with the moving card, it says a property purchase or sale for many, but heed security concerns. Well, I don't know about that, but it is going to be property in some way. Now, this could mean that, yes, you are buying property, you're inheriting something, or it could literally just mean you're moving into a brand new apartment. There is a new space here indicated in your birthday year. Keep a very open mind to it. You have the letters D and P, and this could be the name of a street, the name of a city, could be the name of a person, could be someone's initials. So keep that under you. This is for this specific blessing. You have the Page of Swords. You're going to be receiving some sort of a message about this, all right? In the form of a phone call, a text message, an email. You're going to be receiving a message about something, and it has something to do with property. The incoming message, definitely. And this is Mercury and Gemini energy. This is coupled with the Moon card. And, you know, the Moon is Cancer energy. Now, this is interesting because it has something to do with the mystery. Where did we see that? Here. We were talking about the mystery, right? And the Moon represents mystery at times. Something that was either previously or presently a mystery. Seems to come about through a message, something you figure something out. There is something that is kind of clarified, and with all the interesting things that are going on with my camera, I'm wondering if something it was mysterious and confusing, and all of a sudden you focus it and you're like, wow, there it is, right? You have also another major arcana here. You have Temperance in reverse, and that is more Sagittarian energy, like we saw in the Jupiter card. Temperance, Sagittarius, something may have felt imbalanced before, right? You may be performing an internal calibration of sorts. Once this message comes in, you're going to be like, okay, I have to refocus, I have to rebalance. It seems to throw you for a loop. But what's great is in the advice sector here, you have the Four of Pentacles in reverse. This is Saturn and Capricorn energy, and it is letting go. It is letting go. You're letting go of one thing in lieu of another. What did we say? Death, rebirth, bridge. Perfect. That's what we see here. And I really like that for you. When we add this up and we break it down, it is pure Mars energy, which is something you are very comfortable with here, Aries. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, the timing here, because we pulled Mars energy, it could be Aries, this year. It literally could be the Aries time this year, that March, April time, or it could be March, April of 2026. But keep that in mind here. There is something to do with Aries energy and this blessing that is very, very lined up and very, very interesting. So as we move on here, your second blessing, it's something to do with romance. It says, love is set to sizzle. The chance for romance is high for those seeking a connection. This bridge could lead to romance that's unexpected, or this could be about a coupling of two people. But either way, you have this beautiful, this is Aries energy as well, right? This is Mars and Aries, but this is the card of manifestation. And I love that for you. Beautiful manifestation. We'll get to that in a minute, but you do have here strength in reverse, and this is Leo energy. And what did we say, right? We said that up here. Your strength, there is a strength of vulnerability. Something sort of zaps your strength. Something makes you a little weak, and that's where your strength, your real strength is going to be. There is something here, and it has something to do with a person or romance. And, some of you may not want to hear that, but it is on the table, so I have to talk about it. You do have the Six of Pentacles coming in reverse, and this is Moon in Taurus energy. Now, what's interesting about this card is you may have received breadcrumbs from this human being in the past, or you may have been breadcrumbed in a previous relationship, which is why you may feel not so stable, right? You may feel the need to recalibrate. You may feel at first a little put off. But that is the past, because look at your advice card. They say the sun is the happiest card in the deck, and I don't know, man. This is the Four of Wands. Venus in Aries energy, a happy ending. A happy ending. Beautiful. You have the letters Y, E as in Edward, and L, right? And like I said, it could be a restaurant, it could be a train station, it could be someone's initials, it could be a street. Keep a very open mind, but this has something to do with romance here. When we add all this up and we break it down, we get Uranus energy, Aquarius energy, change, freedom, a leap of faith. The timing could be buried there as well, right? Aquarius energy is January, February. So look for that. All right. Definitely look for that. This is pretty interesting and very, very, very nice. Very nice energy. Now, this last blessing, it says, assert yourself. Go for what you want. The time is ripe for soulmate connections, and the birth of a child is likely. Now, it doesn't mean, it can mean the birth of a child for sure, but for those of you who either aren't interested or aren't able or willing to do that, it is the birth of a new life. What did I say? A bridge, a death, and a rebirth. So yes, could you be starting a family with someone? Absolutely, because look at this. You have the Four of Wands again. And I do think this is bridged from this particular blessing. You have the Four of Wands, which, like I said, is Venus in Aries. This is a carryover from blessing number 2. Beautiful. I'm really glad I did the shuffling and the laying out on camera, so you can see that these cards really are your cards. They're not chosen specifically to make you feel good, right? You do have the Five of Cups coming in with this card, Mars and Scorpio energy. It's that death and rebirth, right? Because look, there are spilled cups in the front and there are filled cups in the back, right? Something good is taking the place of something that may have caused sadness in the past. You have the Five of Pentacles coming in reverse, and the Five of Pentacles is Mercury and Taurus energy. No more aloneness, no more loneliness, no more aloneness, no more feeling on the outside looking in, no more feeling abandoned if that's how you felt. This is the card of the opposite of all that. You have as advice, which is interesting. This is really interesting. I know I use the word interesting a lot, but man, I find tarot infinitely interesting. You do have the Nine of Wands here as advice, right? What is that? That's Moon in Sagittarius, but it's perseverance. So you're being asked to persevere and have faith. And what does this say? Assert yourself, Assert yourself, persevere. This is the wounded warrior. This is someone who perhaps in the past has been through their share of crap, but you're being asked to assert yourself. You're being asked to persevere. You're being asked to have faith. You have the letters, let me see if I can see this, Q, Z, and T. Same thing. Keep an open mind when it comes to these letters. When we add this up and we break it down, we get Mercury energy, Virgo, Gemini energy. Now that could, these signs and these planets could very well be pointing towards someone that falls under that sign for sure, but it also could be a timing thing, right? Mercury time, Virgo time, Gemini time. So keep an open mind when it comes to this. Really look at these readings with open eyes, open heart, and understand that there are things that you're going to, you may feel nervous about certain things that go on. You may feel nervous when something zaps your strength, but that is going to be part of the blessing, part of the gift that you're getting here, Aries. Now let's look at your totals for your year, for your birthday year, and we total everything up. Now this is another interesting thing. When we total everything up in this reading and we break it down, we get the number 3, which is Jupiter energy. Jupiter energy. You're expanding. There's luck coming in. You're going to have joy coming in. You're moving up. Beautiful, beautiful energy. More Sagittarian energy, but it is good luck for sure. The signs that we discussed were Sagittarius, Leo, Aquarius, Cancer, Capricorn, Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, Taurus, Scorpio, and of course Aries. Now, the sign that we discussed, there's actually 2 signs that we discussed the most. One was Aquarius, which is that Uranus energy, that change, and the other was Aries. And it doesn't always work out that way just because it's your reading, but you have that Mars energy, right? That energy that you're very comfortable with. The number that came out the most was number 4, which is Uranus, change, freedom, all right? Definitely breakthrough, epiphany. I do see that for you, right? The planets that we discussed the most, there's 2, neck and neck. We have Uranus, which is everything we just said, that change. And we have Mercury, which is that Gemini, Virgo energy again, right? That communication is going to be coming in for you. Love this energy for you. Now, this is the first group, so I think I'm going to pull one more card. Hold on, let me get another deck. I'm going to pull a timing card. So I'm going to shuffle this first. I'm going to pull a timing card to see when you could expect to see some movement in this. For a timing card, please, for Aries for their birthday year. Aries for their birthday year. It looks like summer, you're going to see the most activity here, Aries, okay? Definitely look towards the summer for really something really coming together, okay? I wish you all the luck. Happy birthday, my friend. Hello, Group 2. First and foremost, I want to wish you a very happy birthday. My name is Nigel. You have found Alchemy, of course. Okay, let's get started right away. If you have chosen Sun, Strength, and Empowerment, this is your reading. I do notice a couple of the cards being the same as Group 1, which is interesting because if you stay and watch the shuffle and the layout, you'll see that I do shuffle them thoroughly. They fall out by themselves, 9.5 out of 10 times, and it's pretty interesting. But okay, we have chosen the Darkening, and this is number 12 in this deck. And this obviously comes, well, it may not be obvious to you, but in this deck, it comes right before the Lightning, right? And it is linked to Pluto's Scorpio. In other words, transformation. You may have had, Aries, a difficult time in the past. It could be the recent past, maybe the last few years, maybe the last few months. But you're going to be coming out of this beautifully with this particular card. You're going from dark to something else. It guides you to easier waters. You also have the Lover here. And this is number 17 in this deck. And beautiful connection card, right? So it is you connecting with something else. It could be a variety of different things, for sure. It does represent unconditional devotion. And you experience this through all your senses. The swan on this card, believe it or not, it also is a creature of transformation. So in that way, it is very representative of Scorpio energy in that way. A creature of transformation, devotion, and wisdom. So there is some sort of connection on the table, and this connection could leak over into more than one blessing. But it is two things connecting. It is you coming out of the darkness and into the light, which is really nice. You have the dog card here, and this is number 18 in the Lenormand deck. And, you know, this is a pretty straightforward card, right? It means loyalty. It means support. It could be coming from any direction, all directions, but you're moving into a time of support. This could also literally describe a pet that is very, very supportive. It's that unconditional love. You could be acquiring a pet, or you could have a pet right at the moment that you lean on emotionally. And ironically, you have Scorpio here, and this is number 8 in this deck. But, you know, you have a lot of things pointing to Pluto Scorpio energy here. And Pluto, interesting, like I'm trying not to stumble on my words here, but Group 1 did pull the Pluto card, and it was a different deck, but it's the same type of energy. So it's interesting that a lot of the Aries are moving into this time of transformation. At least half of you are, right? Pluto is now in Aquarius, and it's going to remain there until 2045. Definitely, for Aries in particular, this indicates definitely transformation. Look that up on the internet. It's transformative in your networks, your relationships, and it pushes you to likewise people. So expect with this card and these cards surrounding it, expect what you define as loyalty to broaden and deepen and perhaps change. Yeah, definitely here, Aries. Wow, another card of transformation. Wow. You've gotten many, many more than the first group. It says you bring light into this world. It does say dragonfly on here. Now, when we look at the dragonfly, it is very similar to the swan. It's even more so a transformative card. It's yet another symbol of transformation. These particular creatures are able to transform from aquatic to air. They go in the water and they take flight, making them a symbol of self-actualization as well. You may acquire a skill this year that you didn't have before, therefore catapulting you into something brand new. Over on this side, you have full moon in Pisces, and it says balance, spirituality, and practicality. The full moon in Pisces, Aries, is going to be on September 7th, so keep that date under your hat. I really think that the date is going to mean something to you. You will have surrender to the divine, full moon. And once again, keep track of the moons. You pulled 2 moonology cards. You originally pulled 2. I put them back to try to get 1, and 2 fell out again, so I took both of them. The moon is going to be very telling for you this year. So keep track of the full moons, that pull, that the waxing and waning, especially the full moon in Pisces. It's going to mean something to you this year, and it's going to have an impact on your goals, your wishes, your dreams. You did pull joy, and I have to tell you, this is the exact card in the exact placement that group 1 picked. Interesting, right? It says joy, as I do will, so mote it be. Let joy and light radiate from me. Now, this came in reverse, just like in group 1, and that's good news for this particular deck, because when these cards come in reverse, at least in my readings, it means that is something that's going to come to you this year. It's going to be very natural. You're not going to have to work hard. You know how sometimes we have to work hard to remain positive? Well, that's going to be a thing of the past if that's been a thing for you. Joy is going to come to you through events here. You have flashback. And it says, people from the past return. You may work with a previous coworker or take back an old job, but you get a second chance. This could be in the realm of love as well, Aries. So definitely keep that in mind. You're going to have a second chance at something. It may be something, it may be an opportunity that you thought was lost. And this opportunity could be with a person, place, or thing. So definitely keep that in mind. You also have here, melting mask. It says, allow your spirit self to shine through the many roles you fulfill. Now, melting mask, and it does pay to mention that you did get number 16 twice. The number 16 could be very pertinent for you. And I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure that group 1 got number 16 twice too, although they didn't get this card. It was a different card. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay. But, you know, as far as the melting mask goes, you play many roles, right? You could be a mom, you could be a dad, you could be a husband, you could be a wife, you could be a friend, you could be a daughter. Then you go to work and you wear other hats. And this is sort of like, I'm not going to say a warning, it's not a deep warning, but it is an indication not to lose your true self to a mask you find yourself in. You may wear so many different hats that sometimes it gets difficult to know what it is you really want, right? What it is, what your dreams were originally. So keep that in mind here, Aries. Let's get to your tarot. So here you have 3 blessings, okay? Let me move these. It says communication. It says a reunion. What did I say? Something from the past. A reunion could bring love or a rekindling of a friendship, and this could be love, honestly. It says a lucky win seems likely. Very nice energy. So let's see what this is about. Of course, you have the Ace of Cups, right? And that is the ultimate card of the beginning of something beautiful. Water, communication of love, emotional growth, a love opportunity. Many of us don't want to hear that because we're so focused on our goals, but like it or not, you're going to have an opportunity here. You have the Hermit coming in reverse, and this is Virgo energy. And this is a reemergence of a connection that you either keep buried, put in the past, filed away as like the one that got away, or filed away as a missed opportunity, or something that just wasn't right at the time. But it is a reemergence of something. And look at this. You have another major arcana. And as many of readers say, this is the happiest card in the deck, right? Leo energy, the sun, joy, vitality, optimism, growth, illumination, perfect clarity. You're going to be presented with this, okay? I'm very tempted to do something different with your reading than I did with reading 1, but I'll get to that in a second. But you have this beautiful opportunity coming your way. A lucky win is in the forecast. This is your advice card, and your advice card is the 2 of Swords, Moon in Libra. It does represent mental equilibrium, but more than that, it is tunnel vision. It's covering your eyes and your ears and not listening to naysayers. There might be people around you that say, you should think about this, you shouldn't do that, sticking their nose in perhaps. But I think that you get to a point where you're like, I don't think so. I'm going to make my own decisions. And what's interesting is when we add all this up and we break it down, we get Uranus energy, Aquarius energy. But what does Uranus represent? It represents change, unexpected events, right? It could represent the January, February timeframe, but it also represents rebellion. And what did I just get done saying? You rebelling against other people's opinions. Now you have these letters here, H, F, and B. This could be someone's initials. It could be your initials. It could be the name of the place that you run into this person. It could be a restaurant. It could be an airport. Literally keep a very open mind when it comes to the letters here, Aries. Really, really nice energy. Like I said, I'm really considering, I hope group 1 won't be too upset, but I'm thinking about pulling a timing card for each of these blessings, where in the first group, I only pulled 1. So I think I'm going to do it as we go along. I think that's a good idea. So you have here this communication. You have this lucky win. You have this beautiful cups, Ace of Cups energy. We need a timing card for this. Looks like June. So keep that in mind. Keep the June timeline in mind. I like that. I like the idea of doing the timing cards for each blessing. Apologies, group 1. Okay, let's move on to your second blessing. We have intuition. It says intuition. Trust your intuition. It's a great time to learn a new skill, change careers, or invest money. So this is something to do with an investment or a new opportunity as far as your goals go. And, obviously this is telling you to use your intuition. You have the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is surely a fire sign like yourself. It's Jupiter and Sagittarius. And this is embracing a new opportunity, right? Taking a calculated risk. It's a lot of enthusiasm for sure. And this knight has definite leadership skills. So you could be looking at some sort of leadership position, or at least taking the bull by the horns when it comes to this opportunity, using your intuition. You do have, interestingly enough, the star here in reverse. And the star in reverse, well, the star itself is Aquarius, pure Aquarius energy. But this particular opportunity may not, and this may be something you don't initially trust, or it could perhaps not exactly be what you wished for, but allow your post intuition to kick in. This may not come around exactly the way you envisioned it, but this is an opportunity nonetheless. This is something that you weren't expecting. It's perhaps something that you weren't, maybe you thought you had lost faith in. I mean, that's another thing that this could be. You do have the Four of Cups here in reverse, and the Four of Cups in reverse, we have Moon in Cancer. And let me straighten that out. With the Moon in Cancer card here, it's a shift away from stubbornness. Remember what I said initially? You're like, I don't know about this. Maybe you're stubbornly holding on to a thought or something else. There's some sort of stubbornness here. And this could be an indication of something that you were waiting for. So it's kind of like a stagnation, right? But this is a change from that into motivation, to grabbing it, to saying, okay, I like the idea of him holding that wand, because that sort of represents this energy. And the advice here is the Queen of Pentacles. And the Queen of Pentacles here is Saturn and Capricorn. But more than that, it is a focus on practical matters. So I think once you give this some thought, you're like, wait, this is really good for my long-term future. This is definitely... it's an indication to remain grounded, really give this some thought. And I really think that when you come to your senses, you're going to be like, wow, this really is a good opportunity. You have the letters V, W, D, and O. Definitely keep these in mind for the same reasons I said with the other one. It literally could be anything, okay? I do have people that email me about these readings, and one person said they went through the month, the letters didn't mean anything, and then a month after that, they realized that it was actually someone's car's license plate number. So, I mean, it's just interesting the way these things play out. And you definitely have to keep an open mind with public readings like this. So let's look at a timing card for this. Timing card for blessing number 2 for Aries in a few weeks. All right. Definitely keep this in mind here, Aries. In a few weeks, you're going to have this opportunity, and at first glance, you may be tempted to either disregard it or hold out for something else. But really, give this some thought. Be the Queen of Pentacles in this situation. We add up all these numbers and we break it down. We get Jupiter energy again. That Sagittarian energy, that luck, that optimism, fortune, a new opportunity. Opportunity after opportunity here, Aries. Now, blessing number 3, and here we go, opportunity again. It says an important offer will be made. Be prepared and dress to impress. So you have yet another opportunity here. Now you have the Four of Swords, and this is Jupiter in Libra. Taking the time to ponder something. Yeah. It's money related. I'm really feeling that this is money related. It's opportunity. It could be passion. Could be passion. And I'll tell you why here. But there is something that I'm not going to say you're stalling, but you're taking the time to think, which is a good thing, right? You're taking the time to think and ponder. This could be a very passionate thing for you. It could be. It's more Jupiter and Sagittarius energy, a new start. You may be unsure about this at first. This could be a carryover from this. This could be a carryover from this. This could be yet something else that's going on. But you do decide to let go of that doubt, right? You do. You have the Four of Pentacles in reverse, Jupiter and Capricorn energy, releasing something, releasing doubt. This would be you holding on tightly, right? You are releasing something. And this could, I don't know, I'm just really getting the feeling that it is in the realm of money. And that nothing is true for all of you in this general reading. But I do think, because here you have in your advice column, you have the Four of Swords here in the upright, and you have the Four of Swords in reverse as advice. So it is time to let go of any doubts you have. Definitely Jupiter and Libra energy again, moving forward, right? Maybe it took some time here, but you do decide to move forward here. You have the letters U and R here related to this opportunity. And it does say opportunity very clearly here. Yeah, hold on. Okay, it does say opportunity very clearly here. Now, we add this up and we break it down. You're not going to believe me, but it's Jupiter again. This is an expansive year for you, Group 2. I mean, you get Jupiter and Jupiter and Jupiter, expansion after expansion after expansion, luck after luck after luck. So I'm not sitting here saying nothing bad is going to ever happen to you this year. This reading is concentrating on 3 blessings that is coming towards you. And for you to get Jupiter over and over and over again, your world is expanding for sure. You're going to get a second chance at something. You're going to get opportunities here. I believe these are like 2 opportunities. You have Pluto energy over and over again in your reading. Pretty fascinating. Okay, so let's look at the timing for this one. Timing for this for Aries in October. See, totally different from this one. So yes, keep an open mind because you have something coming in the fall as well. Really, really nice energy. Now, also in this particular blessing, you have believe 4 number 4s, or is it 3? 1, 2. There's 3 number 4s in this particular blessing. But 4s represent, especially in tarot, they represent stability and structure and a need to move forward. And isn't that just absolutely perfect, right? Absolutely perfect energy for you. Love that. But now that we have used our timing cards, I'm really getting the urge to pull yet another deck. Please forgive me, Group 1. Hold on one second. Okay, I will just use back here for a card representing your birthday year, Group 2. Oh, there we go. We have the world. Doesn't that make perfect sense? The world is yours. Have you ever seen Scarface? The world is yours. Beautiful energy. Now let's do your numerology real quick. So when we add up everything for your birthday year, and your birthday year is birthday to birthday, so it does kind of leak into 2026 a little bit, right? We get the number 8, and that is Saturn, right? It is Capricorn, Aquarius energy. You're getting something that you have worked for, that you have paid the piper for. You may have been in a lot of you may have been in some unfair situations here in the past. You may have paid your price, you paid your dues, you put the work into this, and you're going to be receiving payback in a very good way. Saturn is a very karma-based card. The number that we talked about the most was number 4, believe it or not, and that is Uranus energy, right? It's that change. It's that forward movement. Beautiful. Now, the planet, it's probably not going to surprise you. The planet that we would discuss the most is Jupiter. Optimism, luck, expansion, Sagittarian energy. The signs that we discussed were Scorpio, Leo, Libra, Virgo, Capricorn, Cancer, Aquarius, and Sagittarius. The 2 signs that were neck and neck in this reading were Sagittarius and Aquarius, that Jupiter energy and that Saturn, Uranus energy. So yes, you're going to be receiving a lot of joy. You're going to be receiving new opportunities, old opportunities. Do not lose yourself in all the hats you probably are going to wear, and definitely look for movement here in a few weeks and in June, and then again in October. I wish you the best. Happy birthday, Aries. Hello, group 3. First and foremost, I'd like to wish you a happy birthday. If you have chosen passion and chemistry, this is your reading. Okay, of course, let's get started right away. You have the sublimation card. And this is number 67 in this deck. It's an elevation, a flight, rising above something, rising to a new level. If you're familiar with tarot, think of it as Eight of Wands type energy, okay? Rising above, moving on to something almost being lifted, if you will, right? And here we have this stone. Wow. Actually, you have number 67 on both of these cards. Look at that. What are the odds of that happening? I mean, you could go back and watch. If you haven't, watch me shuffle them and lay them out. It's really weird. Anyway, you do have the stone. And as I said, that is number 67 in this deck. The stone, interestingly enough, is an anchor, right? And it is an anchor for this energy. It's that balance, right? So as the sublimation is lifting you, the dark side of sublimation, and each card has a dark side, would be you dissociating, or you not coming back down to earth. And the dark side of the stone would be a heaviness. But together they form this balance that's really, really nice. And I don't see that in many readings. So you have that. Plus, when you look at the number 67, it is considered a lucky number. It's a prime number. But aside from that, it does break down to a number 4. When you add it up and break it down to a single number, and that, my friend, is the Emperor in the tarot deck, and that is Aries. So if we needed a sign that this is your reading, there it is. And, you know, to drive the point home, you do have the crossroads, and this is 22, and that breaks down into a 4 as well. So you have the crossroads energy. During this year, you're going to find yourself at a crossroads. And it's just like it sounds, right? It is a pivotal moment. You're going to be experiencing this year that type of energy where you're going to come to a crossroads, make a decision, and sort of rise above and really balance out. I don't know if you've been going through a tough time or not here, Aries, but if you have, that is about to end. What's the triple spiral? This is number 11 in the deck. And it says, listening to divine wisdom and joyfully learning life's lessons. It is wisdom I mean, you have the wisdom card here as well. It is a divine wisdom. You're going to be learning stuff about yourself, stuff about your life, stuff about what you really want. There's going to be a lesson learned, and it doesn't matter how old or wise you already are. That is definitely on the table here. You have the air element, and this is number 25 in this deck. And, you know, you may have air highly aspected in your chart. You may be dealing with an air sign this year, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or there might be something important going on during the air months. One of the air months, May, June, September, October, and January, February. This reading does dip into 2026 because remember, it is birthday to birthday for Aries. And, you know, to drive this point home, when I was laying out all your cards, this is the only reading where when I was pulling out the letters, this fell out by itself. And generally, I'm not using these during your birthday readings, but it did fall out, and I felt that it was a sign, and this is the sign of Aquarius. It is the star. So, you know, you may be dealing with an Aquarius, or something important may happen between January and February. We're going to be pulling timing cards, so we'll kind of keep that under our hat here, Aries. Now we go to this side. Like I said, you did pull this wisdom card, and this is number 7. It says, on a Wednesday, wow, on a Wednesday, during a waxing moon, let wisdom come and be renewed. So you have wisdom here on the table. And I don't know if you've watched any of my readings, but with this particular deck, in my readings anyway, when the cards come in reverse, this is something that's going to come to you naturally during the time frame we're talking about, which is your birthday year. And we talked about wisdom here. You're going to be learning something. You're going to be leveling up as far as that's concerned. You're going to be experiencing wisdom without even trying, if that makes sense to you. You have gesture here. And it says, you may be asked to help someone out, or you may need a hand yourself up. Give deserved praise to others, and you will receive recognition too. I personally, I think it's a little of both here, Aries. I do think you're going to be helping someone um, in ways that you could not have predicted. And I think that as a result, you're going to be rewarded with something, a blessing. Obviously, we're talking about 3 blessings here, but there is something specific here that is going to be yours for helping someone out. You do have the voice, and this is number 30 in this deck. It says, you are here to be known, so speak and be seen. So you may be, I mean, when I see this card, I always look at a leadership role. If you're looking for something, you know, work related, goal related, that is a very, very good omen. You have third quarter moon adjustments are required. I would say so. And, you know, if you're leveling up in any way, if you're growing in any way, adjustments are always required. So that kind of goes without saying. Here we have your 3 blessings. Let's move to your first one right away. You do have a surprise in store. It says, a disappointment will be followed by a pleasant surprise. An invitation could bring love to those searching. So you have a disappointment followed by a surprise, and you know, obviously something that you're not expecting. So a clue would be when you experience a disappointment, expect that something good's going to happen right after that. You have the letters W, M as in Mary, and D as in David. And these letters could mean anything. They could be someone's initials. They could be the name of a location, a restaurant, an airport, literally anything. Keep a very open mind. But this blessing is associated with these letters, and either one of them or all of them are going to mean something as it pertains to this particular thing. You have the Four of Wands. So in my opinion, this is you sort of retreating. It is a retreat card. It is Jupiter in Libra. It is a withdrawal. And I believe that this withdrawal is, you experienced this perhaps after the initial disappointment of something, kind of like a licking your wounds type energy, something you're disappointed in. But you do have the card of Pisces here with the Hanged Man, and the Hanged Man is definitely, as you can see, seeing things from a different perspective, right? Also maybe with that head glowing, it could be a light bulb moment, aha moment. You retreat, you're like, wait a minute, there's something else happening here, or I see this differently. You know, maybe this was a bridge to something else. You do have the Queen of Cups here in reverse, and you know, the Queen of Cups in reverse can mean many things in many readings. It is Neptune and Cancer energy, but I do think that this is self-examination. It's examining your emotions, examining perhaps your disappointment, examining the situation, going internal. And as your advice card is the Three of Cups in reverse. Interesting, isn't it? It is Mercury in Cancer energy, and it is pulling away from social interaction to concentrate on you, to concentrate on your goals, to concentrate on something else. I don't know if your social circle was draining you. I don't know if it was sort of useless. You know, sometimes we spend energy on useless things, or perhaps you're just honestly very internal, very, very self. You're thinking about you, your emotions, your situation. And it does say an invitation could bring loves to those searching. Perhaps you back off from what you usually do socially in lieu of something else because that light bulb goes off when you get an invitation. Very well could be, okay? For sure. You know, I think I'm going to pull the timing cards as we go along. So this surprise that's coming, that comes right after a disappointment, is next new moon. So keep track here when you watch this video. The next new moon you experience something, you may experience a disappointment, but just keep in mind when that happens, it is leading you straight into some sort of blessing. Definitely a blessing. We add this blessing up and we break it down. We get Pluto energy, that's Scorpio energy, right? That death and rebirth. And it makes sense, right? Disappointment, blessing, right? Death, rebirth. It's almost like you need to go through one to get to the other here, Aries. Okay, so as we move on to, I don't know why that I'm sorry, I hate when I screw up these cards. We move on to blessing number 2. It says change. A change of residence, a change of partner, career, or job is in the cards. You're restless and in need of a change. And this is exactly what is coming your way. Beautiful energy. A change. Yeah. Well, most of us want to change in one area of our life or another, but man, look at this. You have the world energy here. Jupiter energy, right? That expansive luck. Completion, success, new beginnings, positive change for sure. Positive change for sure. You have the Two of Pentacles here in reverse. And this is Mercury and Capricorn. By the way, this is all fixed energy, right? The fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. But it's mixed with that Jupiter energy. So I like that for you. Now, with the Two of Pentacles, you have Mercury and Capricorn no longer feeling like you have to balance things, like you have to juggle. Could be juggling bills even. You may be like, you know, paying one bill, not paying another. It could be just juggling responsibilities. This is in reverse. There is no longer a need for that because you're leading right into this King of Wands energy. And many people believe this is Sun in Aries. For me, it is Sun in Leo, but nevertheless, he is a fire sign, and he represents strength, leadership. It's a leadership role, boldness, confidence. And here's your reward, right? There is a leadership role here on the table, and it looks like it is definitely, it is absolutely goal-oriented, money, work-oriented. You're going to be receiving a gift of that. You have here the more Piscean energy. You have the High Priestess. And this is you keeping certain things to yourself, maybe not sharing with your friend group, maybe not putting everything out there. There's certain, I don't know what this is. It's going to be different for all of you, but there are important things. I'm not saying you're being secretive per se, but there are certain things you're keeping that you're keeping to yourself. Could be you using your intuition, your gut's leading you to do that. Here you have, in the advice, interestingly enough, you have the Nine of Pentacles here in reverse. And the Nine of Pentacles is Venus and Virgo energy. And as an advice card, this would be solitary success, right? In the upright, it would be success for sure, but this is success on your own, very, very independent. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I think in this reading, the advice here, especially with this gesture card, is to share. I'm not saying to be stupid. I'm not saying to, if somebody has their hand out, just give your success away. But there is something specific here on the table where if you share it, it could be your significant other, it could be your child, it could be it could be a dog shelter. I don't know. There is something here where you're going to be rewarded for sharing something. And here it is. You're not alone in your success. You're sharing it. You have the letters B, F, and A, which obviously could mean any of the things we said the letters could mean. So definitely keep that under your hat. You have the World here as a completion card. Love that for you. What is the timing, please, Spirit? In a few weeks. There you go. You have some blessings coming to you pretty quickly here, Aries. So definitely keep your eyes peeled. I really like the energy. When we add this up and we break it down, we get Neptune energy, right? We get that Piscean energy. So far, that Piscean energy has come up in all your blessings. What is Neptune? Neptune could be confusion, could be, but it's also a higher octave of Venus. What is Venus? Venus is love and money. So it sort of makes sense here. It's a step above. It's a higher octave. It does caution you. It does caution you to really plan wisely. It looks like something is coming your way, and don't take it for granted. Give to what you need to give to. Don't give it all away. Don't squander it. Definitely think about your future here, Aries. Now, last blessing. It says health. It says an excellent time to start an exercise program or a diet. Many new friendships are on the horizon, for sure. Now, the health card could be your financial health, could be your emotional health, your physical health, could be anything. Judging from the cards I'm seeing, wow, you got the World again. I mean, what are the odds of that happening? Judging from the cards I'm seeing here, it could be a mixture of a bunch of things here. But let's just read them. You do have the Four of Pentacles as your primary card here. And many people regard this as Sun in Capricorn. And it's holding on to whatever it is you've built, for sure. Now, this could be holding on to a person. This could be either meeting someone brand new that you feel like is your person, or it could be somebody that's already in your life that you really want in your life, but it is you holding on to. Now, could this be money? Absolutely. It is a Pentacles card, but I'll tell you why I think it may be a little of both. You do have the Ace of Wands here, and the Ace of Wands is obviously the element of fire, like yourself. There is passion here, chemistry, what we've talked about here, right? There is passion, chemistry. Yeah, I see that for you. You also have here, obviously, the World. I mean, it's crazy that you have the World twice. That is it's a good omen. It's an excellent omen. It's a huge success. It's completion. Now, being that you have two World cards, this could be two different things. In fact, I think it is. So you have this ultimate completion with money and goals, and you also, it looks like you have a completion with a relationship, love. And as I read the cards, you'll see this is something you have been waiting for. You've either been waiting for the person to come to their senses, or you have been waiting to have this in your life. And the advice here is straight up Two of Cups energy. And the Two of Cups is Venus in Cancer, the coming together of two people for the right reasons. In other words, yes, Aries, you can trust this. By the way, the Seven of Pentacles is Venus in Taurus energy. The letters here are H, H, O, and P. And remember, this could be anything. Keep that under your hat. Beautiful energy here. So it is your emotional, your financial, and other parts of your health that are on the table here. Let's do your timing card for this. Let's see, Aries, you have in the summer. So look towards the summer for this to happen. All right, absolutely. Look for this. So you have a few things happening in weeks, and then you have something wonderful here happening in the summer. And when we add this up and we break it down, it's really no surprise we get Neptune again. So it is that Neptunian higher octave of Venus with money and goals and love and romance. Beautiful, beautiful energy. Let me pull one of these cards for you to close out your reading, and then we'll do your numerology really quick. For Aries, please. We have, wow, that's really weird, Aries. We have air again. Look at this. Two different decks, the air card came out. Air is a very important part of this reading. Plus you have a, listen, this person could very well be an air sign or someone that has air highly aspected, like sun, moon rising, or Venus stellium, or like I said, an air month. Something is definitely up here. Yeah, something's definitely up here. Yeah, air. Air is a big part of your reading. Okay, so let's look at your numerology. When we add everything up in this reading and we break it down, we get the number 7. And the 7 is Neptune energy. Neptune is huge. It is huge. Piscean energy, yes, but it is that higher octave that we talked about of Venus. The numbers that we talked about the most here were number 4, which is Uranus, which is change, Aquarius, right? And it's Jupiter. It's that expansive good luck, Wheel of Fortune energy, right? Sagittarian energy. The planet that we spoke of the most was of course Venus, and you know, for all the reasons we said. And the signs that we discussed were Sagittarius, Libra, Virgo, Scorpio, Aquarius, Leo, Pisces, Taurus, and Capricorn, with Taurus meaning Venus and Aquarius leading the pack. So you do the math here. I'm telling you, something is in the works with air. Something's in the works with Venus and Neptune. So definitely get back to me and tell me how this pans out for you, because very interesting. Very interesting. And don't forget, like, you have that Uranus energy, right? So that Aquarian energy. And and also we have a little bit of Saturn thrown in there, which is karma. So in other words, whatever here is meant to be. If you believe that, I do. I think that this chemistry that you're experiencing is meant to be. This could be someone coming back from the past. This could be something coming back from a past life, but this is something that's going to fit like a hand in glove. I wish you all the best. Happy birthday. Hello, group number 4. First and foremost, I'd like to wish you a very happy birthday. If you have chosen Freedom Leap Opportunities, Uranus, this is your reading. Okay, as usual, let's get started right away. We have the Void. Very cool card, actually. This is number 42 in this deck. It does represent darkness, destiny. This card usually appears at a time when something has been released, right? It could be a relationship, a possession, a title that you have, a job, a dream. It could be any of those things. When you approach the void, destiny sort of shifts and you're drawn into it. And from this particular space, Aries, everything new is born. You have also pulled, let me see if I can get this. Sorry about that. You have pulled the Starborn, which is number 3 in this deck. It is a time of having a sense of purpose this year. Now, this is one full birthday year. What did you wish for as a child? What did you wish for yourself as a child? Use your childlike wonder, your childlike brain this year. That's when this card comes out. It's almost like you're reverting back to something that you either put on a shelf or you disregarded, or perhaps people in your life asked you to disregard to be more logical, right? So let's keep that under our hats as we go forward. You're the only group that chose 2 of these cards. One is Labyrinth, and it says raising your energy, vibration, and enlightenment, number 12. So you might be, as you go forth through the year, going through a lot of twists and turns to get to your goals. Healing. There is some healing that needs to be done. It says true healing of the mind, body, and soul. Any of the above, all of the above. This could be some healing that you need to do from your childhood. We all have that, right? Yeah. Let's look at the Lenormand cards. You're also the only group that chose 2 Lenormand cards. So they have separate meanings, and together they have a third meaning. That you have the key here, and this is number 33 in this deck. And the key usually represents some kind of freedom. You also have tree, which is number 5 in this deck. And the tree is usually growth, rooted, family matters, things, once again, things from your childhood, right? When we see these 2 things together, the combo is sort of like a recovery, a release from a restrictive family, or a future based on familial wishes, meaning exactly what I set up here. Your family wanted something different for you than what you wanted. And there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean they're bad people necessarily. Some of them obviously are. It just means that, you might have bent to someone else's will. You might have said, you know what, they're making sense. This is on the table for a reason here, Aries. So as we move on to the other side, you do have the abundance card, which is number 2. And it says, Goddess of abundance divine, let me thrive, let fortune be mine. Now, if you've watched any of my readings, you know that when these particular cards come out in the upright, this is something that, let me just refocus this. And there's one deck of cards that always refocuses it really well. See that? if you've seen any of my readings, you know that particular deck, when it comes in the upright, it is something that's available to you this year, but it is something that you're going to have to work towards. It's not just going to land in your lap. Abundance can be yours. But there is something that you need to release. There is something that you also need to go after. And I do believe it's old energy that you have to go after, something that's buried inside of you, if that makes sense, right? It says make it work. It says you have all the tools you need to succeed, but you have to put in the effort. Wow, that's just what I said, right? You excel at working with your hands and fixing problems. You may be known as a problem solver. And if you're not known as that, you're going to be known as that this year. You have the unknown here, and this is number 5 in this deck. It says knowing the unknown. If you really look at this card, doesn't it remind you of the High Priestess, right? The High Priestess is usually seated between 2 columns, and she has a moon at her head. The unknown is going to be known to you. It's a quiet knowledge. Yeah, there is definitely something here, Aries, that is buried inside you that really wants to come out once more. Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. It says nothing will come of this situation. It says moon void of course. And when I'm not really looking at what it says as much as the moon void of course, I do think that there is something in your life that was void of course. You were on the wrong course. Not to say you can't be successful in anything that you attempt, but will you truly be abundant? Abundance is happiness too. So you're void of course. Something went off course from the time. What you were meant to do and what you ended up doing are 2 different things. You do have the card of Venus here, which is the number 16 in this deck. So what's interesting about Venus is in retrograde in 2025 from March 1st to April 12th. Then we have those shadow periods, just like with Mercury retrograde. So it's not exactly it's probably a week after that we truly come out of it. But what's fascinating about this as far as it pertains to you is that Venus will be retrograde in Aries. And it transfers to Pisces, but initially it will be in Aries. Now, the retrograde in general, Aries will find this time to be a very introspective time. Many, believe it or not, may revisit the past to realize old dreams. And they may not, dreams they might not have watered, right? That didn't have a chance to germinate, or something that may have let go of. And this can be, Venus can be our goals and our money, and it can also be our love life. So take that for what it's worth here, Aries. So now we approach these 3 separate blessings that might or might not bleed into one another. Do keep in mind that you can listen to all 4 of these readings. You're Aries after all. You can listen to 2 of them. You can listen to 1 of them. Okay. So as we approach blessing number 1, you have these letters of W, V as in Victor, N as in Nancy, and R as in Robert. Now, indeed, these can be someone's initials. It can also be, like I always tell you, it could be the make and model of a car. It could be a restaurant. It could be a street name. This is something that is very personal for each of you, and you should write this down, right? We're going to be doing timing cards for all 3 of these. The only group that did not get timing cards for all 3 was group 1. And I was just starting out doing the groups, and I did 1 timing card, but from 2 on, I did all 3, and I just I just thought that was better. So I do apologize to group 1 if you were part of that. But you do have wisdom here, and it says to focus on the past is to lose the future. It says heed advice from an older person, which will allow you to move on. Now, in my opinion, there is wisdom in the past, but I don't think... I think there is wisdom to be found in your past, but it is not within another person. It is within you. It is within childlike you. There is wisdom there. Now, there might be also an older person that sort of mirrors what I'm saying to you. It doesn't have to be a family member either. It could be anybody that's older than you that might turn around and say, follow your dreams, or, all the things that I just said. Hey, it could be me. I mean, you could be younger than me for sure. Many people are younger than me, trust me. But you do have here the 10 of Cups, and this is a beautiful card, as we know, right? It is a card of happiness. It is Jupiter and Pisces energy. It's emotional fulfillment, happiness, peace, a dream, definitely a dream coming true, some kind of dream coming true. And obviously very beautiful energy. Could this be love? Absolutely. Could it be something that you love, a path that you love? Absolutely. You see the children in the picture? This could be exactly what we talked about here. Something from your childhood that you sort of let go of in lieu of something logical. But I like this because, believe it or not, you have the Justice card here in reverse. That is pure Libra energy. But, and of course, this is unfocused again. Focus, please. Thank you. With this Libra energy, you realize that something from your past may not have been fair. It was not fair to child you. It was not fair. And unfairness was done either purposely or not purposely. But you do have here death in reverse, right? And the death in reverse, this is Pluto. Well, it's actually Scorpio, but it's also definitely like Pluto energy as well. Recapturing something that you thought was dead. It's not dead. It isn't. The advice here is the Three of Pentacles in reverse, and the Three of Pentacles here in reverse is, God, I hate when this camera, I have to figure out why it keeps doing that. It drives me nuts. Hate it. Now the Three of Pentacles in reverse as advice. Do not look to the same group of people you have always relied on for advice. This is thinking outside your box. I'm not saying these people are bad people. It's just not going to help you in this particular way. And the wisdom is not found there. The wisdom is found inside you, and I really believe it's inside of a new source, something outside of your box, something outside of your toolbox. When we add this up, interestingly enough, and we break it down, we do get Pluto energy. We get that number 10, Scorpio, that death and rebirth energy. There is a death to something, and there is a rebirth. There is also a revisiting here with the actual death card, a revisiting of something that you believed was dead. Could this be a relationship coming back? Absolutely. I mean, nothing is going to be true of all of you, right? I think there are some Aries out there that are going to revisit an old relationship. And it's something that you may have given up. You may have given up because of the people in your life, maybe your family, the opinions of others. It could be your old opinion, but this could also be a dream. It could be exactly what we talked about up here. And it's up to you to decide which that is, Aries. Okay. So as we move on here in blessing two, we have the letters U, S, C, and M as in Mary. We also have commitment. It says a commitment is indicated around love or business. It will make you feel better. So there is some sort of commitment here. This could be a goal, because we see the King of Pentacles here. But the King of Pentacles doesn't always have to be, Pentacles in general they don't always have to be money, just like cups do not always have to be love, right? But the King of Pentacles is Sun in Taurus, long-term stability within a relationship or within a goal or a dream. It is wealth, but it is wealth born of family, right? It could be family wealth. It's definitely long-term wealth. And if this is love, it's long-term stability in that relationship. You have here also the 8, and this makes a lot of sense. You have the 8 of Cups here, and the 8 of Cups is Saturn and Scorpio. It is that walking away. Do you see how this person is walking away? Walking away from something that, and I'm going to keep flashing this card, so try to ignore that, okay? Sorry. Change. It's releasing that which no longer is useful to you, or perhaps honestly never was. Maybe you're just realizing that. And something that definitely had you bound, right? It could be an old opinion. It could be, yeah, it is something that had you chained. Family opinion, your opinion, an old feeling of, hey, that's not logical. Definitely. But you have here in advice, you have a sideways card, which is the Knight of Swords, Mercury in Gemini. And the Knight of Swords is an extremely fast moving knight, right? We know this. It's the fastest moving knight in the deck. And when it comes in sideways, there is a decision here on whether to proceed slowly or whether to proceed swiftly. But proceed you will. This is a card of definitely moving forward towards a commitment. And this commitment is a very, very long-term situation here. When we add this up and we break it down, we get Mercury energy, that Virgo, Gemini energy. And Mercury is communication. It's also travel. It's movement. and it is speaking your truth, right? Finding your voice and speaking your truth. Here with your last blessing, you have the letters B and O. And just keep in mind that could mean anything like we discussed. Here you have, it says intuition. Trust your intuition. It's a great time to learn a new skill, change careers, or invest your money. For sure. But we talked about your intuition here with that high priestess sort of energy, right? There is a gut feeling you have that you need to go with, and it has zero to do with logic, right? There's something else guiding you here, Aries. You have the Death card again. You have the Death card again. The Scorpio Pluto energy. Make sure this is straight. And yes, you know, death as an opportunity for something brand new, something revisited that perhaps is coming up as brand new. A major phase in your life is ending and beginning. You have the Ace of Wands. And the Ace of Wands is pure fire energy like yourself. Passion, right? With passion, you move forward. You're sure of yourself. You're confident. You do have the Sun in reverse here. So during this time, you may feel it may not be as crystal clear to you. You're going on intuition after all, right? Things may seem uncertain. They may seem unclear. You're being guided by something other than logic. Yeah. So just go with it. Go with that feeling. Go with that feeling. It's almost like magical. Here in your advice column, it's telling you to be patient, right? That is the card of patience. Neptune and Taurus, Seven of Pentacles. Have patience. Wait for it because your harvest is coming. And this is definitely going on faith. It is going on faith here. When we add this up and we break it down, what's fascinating is for your last sort of leg here, you have Uranus, right? Which is where we started. Right? That change, that giant change, the opportunity, that leap of faith, freedom, right? And has a tiny bit of rebellion in it, moving forward. Love that for you. Love that for you. Let's pull, you know what I didn't do? The timing cards. So let's do some timing cards for each leg. For your first leg here, or your first blessing, you have the 10 of Cups, right? So there is something that you love being placed on the table. And it says the next full moon. And the next full moon, you're going to see evidence of this here, Aries. Here you have long-term stability and commitment. In October, this is going to become very clear to you in October. Love that timing for you. And here your intuition is guiding you into that death energy, right? That rebirth energy. And this is going to happen as soon as next month. So definitely keep an open mind, okay, my friend, especially if you rely purely on logic. This is not a logic-based reading at all. Give me one. Perfect for Aries. And you have night. You have night. Things are not going to be as crystal clear as you would like them to be. But you see the owl, and the owl absolutely is wisdom. It is being guided by moonlight. You might not see the road ahead of you very clearly, but there is a road. You are being guided by the moon, which is in this card as well, with your high priestess. It's your intuition. It's that feminine side of you, whether you're man or woman. Yes, absolutely. I can't wait to do your numerology. Let's do your numerology right now. Okay, so we add all the numbers up in this reading and we break them back down. We get the number 10, which is Pluto energy, right? It's that death card that came out twice, came out pretty much again, right? Death and rebirth. You're releasing something into the void, and within that void, something else is being reborn. Beautiful. Now, of all the numbers that came up the most, number 5 came up the most, which is Mercury energy, that moving forward, that communication, crystal clear thinking, right? Gemini, Virgo energy. The planet that we talked about the most was Mercury again. And so definitely Mercury, Pluto energy is ruling this reading. And with the signs, we have Libra, Pisces, Virgo, Gemini, Capricorn, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, and Scorpio. And what's again interesting is that the number 1 sign in this reading was that Scorpio energy, that Pluto energy, that death and rebirth energy. And coming in a close second was Gemini, which is Mercury. It's always fascinating to me how everything ties together in the end with these readings, especially when you do the numbers. I really wish you all the luck. You're going to have a very interesting birth year, and feel free to listen to all the readings if you'd like. I wish you a very happy birthday. Namaste.